Good afternoon, everybody. You got Kody Ashmore, Director of Weekly Option Strategies, and I'm here to tell you about what's on my charts. Well, I have a lot of different ways to look at things, but we'll go ahead and just dive in on that. So, my first trading, well, I guess I'm gonna say first, my trading, I won't say trading platform, but my charting platform is just like everybody else pretty much here at Simpler Trading, is I use Thinkorswim. And where you can find the Thinkorswim is you really could just Google it. Go to Thinkorswim or sorry, Thinkorswim. Just Google it, and it will bring you to this. You open an account, and then they give you the platform to download, and then so on and so forth. And then once you log in and open, it will pop up on your screen, and then you'll have uh, a blank screen. So, oh, thank you, Lorna, and thank you, Mirza, as well. So that's what I use to chart. I use Thinkorswim. You get basically free live data, and you can't really beat that. Now, after that, in terms of charts, we'll stick to the small account swing trading charts that I use. Is first off, I use this particular chart. All this other stuff on the bottom, this right here, there's really no need to really pay attention to it as it's not available anywhere really, and it just tells you about the volume. But the main things that we need to focus on are these moving averages, and I'll explain what these are here in a moment, and I'll tell you why here in a moment as well. And this down here is a utility label that is also that is offered by Simpler Trading. So we'll go ahead and get started on this chart, and then we'll move into my swing trading chart. So for here, the main things that this is used for, this main chart, is really get my big overview of the market, right? And this is my daily 5-year chart, and I have the 200-day SMA, which is this purple line. I have the 50-day SMA, which is this 50, or sorry, which is the blue line, and then this 20 SMA, which is the green line. Those are used really just so I can get a feel for the market, really. So, like one good way to use it for right now is you can see as whenever these arrows or these lines were pointing up, the market was trending. Now they're starting to kind of curve and move sideways, right? And they may even cross. It's basically telling you that the market went from directional to now sideways, and it helps you dictate, or helps me anyways, dictate as far as how and where I believe the market's going to go. And I also use this as a way to give my ratings on the sectors, is what it's for. Yeah. So, and for to create this type of chart, it's really quite simple. But I'll detach this, and I'm going to go ahead and make it blank. So you can see how I do it. All right. So this is the blank chart, right? And now with the blank chart here, all you really need to do is you go to the studies right here, and this is available on any charting platform. You could almost use this on anything that you use. It does not have to be Thinkorswim. The main thing is, do you get the moving averages? But in Thinkorswim, all you have to do is really put in simple, which is put sim, and it pops up right here, simple moving average. Just hit it 3 times, 1, 2, and 3. Then you click on the little gearbox right here. It says close. We'll make this the 20. Oh, not the 20. So I go to 20. I do not show the up and down signals that are right here. But right here on the SMA, I like my 20 has always been a green. I make it about a 2. And there you go. You take a screenshot if you wish or whatnot on this. But that is that there. The next one I want to do is go and do my 50. My 50s have always been blue, like a darker blue. Why? I don't know. It's just how I've always been. And I'll put a 2. And then I don't show these up and down signals also on this. Okay. The next simple moving average, what I do here is my 200. And right here where it says length, that is where it's telling you how much of the data is the system trying to get. So this is going to get the last 200 candles is where it's getting this price. And then 200 has always been like this purple color for me. Do a 2, or sorry, yeah, size 2. And bam, and there we go. And now I have, or now you will have your moving averages. That's it. That's all you really need for what I use on this particular chart. Now from here, with this, from here with this chart, I also use this one. This might be the one everyone's most familiar with me using right now. Now this one may seem like it has a whole lot going on, but in reality, it really doesn't. It's just a lot of information that you can look at with one sweep and then kind of know exactly how you wish to take things. So let's go ahead and talk about this chart, and then I'll show you how and where, or how I use it and how to create it. So first off, I do have these utility labels up here. These utility labels up at the top, these basically just tells me a lot of data that I need before making a decision. Like these are, I have a checklist basically. I know how and where I want to enter specific trade setups, and I look at this and I have all my information on basically on one chart, and I know how I wish to trade it. I know my entries, I know my targets, and I know how and where I want to get out. So I have my ADX reading up here at the top. I have my daily, weekly, and monthly ATRs up here at the top as well. And then the beta, and if the EMAs are stacked positive or negative, or if if they're crisscrossing back and forth, they'll be yellow. Then I'll also know if the price action is at the 52-week high or low. So right here, this is basically saying we're from the 52-week channel, we're up at the top 80% of it. And then the 60-day channel, we're at the 54. Oh, they just changed it, so 53%. Then I have the Bollinger Bands, RSI, Stochastics. To be honest, I really don't look at these. And then I have my VWAPs, if they're stacked positive or negative from the day. The D is daily, weekly, and monthly. And then I have the put call ratio, the 10-day average put call ratio, and the ticks and the VIX. May seem like a whole lot of information, but I could really just glance at this and like, cool, check, check, check. I know what I want to do with it. All right, now if we go down into this box down below, I have the white line is the daily 21 EMA. The purple line is my 34 EMA. And then this red line is the +3 ATR, and here is the -3 ATR. So the red bands out here are the Keltner channels, and I'll show you here in a moment how to get those. But basically, that is the third ATR distance from the daily 21 EMA. And then I have the yellows, which are the +2 and -2 average true range from the daily 21 EMA. And then the one ATR band, which is the blue lines, which is +1 and -1 from the daily 21 EMA. So that's all that's here. And right here, I also do have the Squeeze Pro early in and out signals. I just recently added those to the candles. And I was like, well, since a lot of these setups are based around the squeeze, it would make sense to add that to there. So I just added those to the setup as well. So we have that. See, covered all that's there. Now right here, these just show me where the ADX and DMI is at for these sectors. So this is where the sectors is. And if you look at it, really the best way to explain it. So if ADX is greater than 20, but DMI negative is below, we'll say it's greater than DMI positive, basically, and the ADX is greater than 20. That means that the strength is strong because ADX is above 20. And then the DMI is greater than DMI positive, which means a strong trend to the downside. So from there, all this means right down here is all these sectors that are red, that is showing that the trend strength is strong to the downside right now on the daily time frame. Where it's yellow, that would mean ADX is below 20, which indicates no trend at all. Now, if there is no trend at all, It just tells you, how you should want to place it. And then if ADX is greater than 20, but the DMI, oops, that's a B, but the DMI is greater, that's supposed to be a DMI plus is greater than DMI negative, then an ADX is greater than 20. That means the trend strength is strong to the upside, and these will be green. They were green not that long ago, but as you can tell by looking up here, the market has certainly changed its mind. So that is how and what that information does there. And I'll show you where you can get these as well here in a moment. And down below my sector utility labels is my Squeeze Pro. You can also use the regular free TTM squeeze. And basically, this lets me know when squeeze the Squeeze Pro. So this is the mid compression squeeze. And then we have the low compression squeeze. And when it fires, it goes green. And then if it goes red, that's basically squeeze is wanting to fire to the downside. So there's the Squeeze Pro. And then on the bottom, I have these implied volatility metrics. The best way to use these really, and the best to think about it would be like Johnson & Johnson recently. Implied volatility was really elevated for this particular ticker. And basically like right here, you see how the white line, the implied volatility was spiking up really high. What that really means is that the implied volatility is high compared to what it usually is. And then what you can do is sell volatility versus buying volatility, because usually volatility retraces and it helps you stay on the right side of a trade. But that is what that is down there. Now, how and where can you get all these awesome indicators? Allow me to show you. All right, so you go to a simpler trading store. If you want to get the whole shebang, you scroll on down. Oh, there's also this one right here. The small account seekers 2.0, the class that John Carter, Allison Ostrander, and myself did. That is where you can get basically the entire chart set up itself. Well, so what you could do is scroll down and see this ruggedly handsome young man right here. You just click that, and I believe it takes you to the classes I have done. Okay, it does. So the small account blueprint right here, this particular course, you click here. And this is where you get the course along with all that entire chart setup, minus the Squeeze Pro unless you already own it. But you'll get all of the utility labels, all of this right here in the Squeeze Pro. Or you won't get the Squeeze Pro, but you have the regular TTM Squeeze. But if you get the Squeeze Pro, you just add it on in there, and the volatility metrics, and you'll get this on the top, and also the calendar channels. It comes already, like you'll get a link prepackaged for this whole charting setup, minus the early in and out signals as well on the chart. So that's something worth noting. You will not get these candles, and you will not get the Squeeze Pro, but you'll get the entire charting setup as far as this goes, and then you'll also have this over here, and all of these utility labels up at the top. Now, if you have all of those, how do you set up this chart? So what I do is I'll just grab this one. All right, so first things first on there is I have the calendar channels. I'm going to add 3 of those. And right here, so you go to settings. So you have +1, ATR, or the length is going to be 21, price, close, average type, exponential, average true range, simple. And then from here, I like to have this as a white, because this is going to be your daily 21 EMA. That's what this line is right here. Upper band, since this is my 1 versus factor, that is the 1 ATR, I like this one to be a blue, because to me, to me it makes sense, because it's more of like, oh, it's cold, the price action hasn't expanded too far. So that's the 1 simple moving average, or sorry, the 1 simple. That's the 1 ATR band. Apologies. All right, from here, then we'll go to 2. And then this, once again, you can put it as a 1 and just add this as a white. It'll just keep plotting the same thing. Now here is where I do a yellow. And the reason for a yellow is because, it's like the medium price action band. So the length 21, price close, average type exponential, and then average range is simple as well. Go to the next one. This is going to be the 3. Average type, exponential, 21, white. And then these bands I make red. I do that, I have it as a red because it tells me, all right, price is extended, like a rubber band is stretched and it's more than likely not going to stretch any further. So I use that as a red. And then, so once you have this on, once you hit apply, and then boom, there you go. See how they're on the chart now? All right, now from here, I also have, I might as well, since there is a whole lot going on this chart, I might as well move it over to the side. Oh, hold on. Okay. And then over here, I also have, so if you don't have the Squeeze Pro and you just want the regular old squeeze, you just have the TTM squeeze here, which is free on most platforms. I would say it's free on all platforms, actually. TTM squeeze, add it. Nothing to change here. The only thing I do change with my background being darker, I do go right here to squeeze alert. And if it's in a squeeze, or actually I do this on my high compression squeeze, sorry. I will go and change it to black on my Squeeze Pro. But if it's just the medium compression squeeze, which is the regular TTM squeeze, then I will leave that as it is. And then as far as the utility labels, if you have it, scroll it down, let's find the real one here. Are they all shared to me? I guess so. One second, looking for it. There it is, universal label. So add 1, 2, 3. And then these I do not want on the top. So I go ahead and drag these to the bottom. And then here you can click it and then you can make the symbol whatever you wish it to be. Actually, that's not the right one. Let's go back for a second. Let me double check something. So here is the one that's on the chart I had. So we'll scroll down. Okay, so it's the utility label market trends. And then you just put in all of the sectors or stocks, whatever you're wanting to watch right there. And then it gives you the coloring right there on the bottom of your chart. And then as far as all the other stuff I have at the top, here it is as well. You have my ADX, my ATR, and all this stuff, and the stacked EMAs and the label percentage, like all of this stuff is all provided from Simpler. You get them from the Simpler store. All right, but that is right at that. I do have those early in and out signals that I have on the charts as well. And I'll show you where you can get those as too. I feel like I almost said as well too much. All right, so here's where you get that whole chart layout. But say you wish to just want the indicators. You just click go to store, indicators. You scrolling down, like here's the Squeeze Pro. You can obviously click it. And then if you do wish to purchase it, you just load it up just like I showed you. Also from there, if you're wanting the early in and out signals, you could just hit see all indicators. And then depending on your platform, you could also click these as well. But so Thinkorswim. And there's also this right here. You click here and just be early in. Oops. Oh, it was just there. There it is. Early in and out pro. Just click it. Bam, there it is. And what's unique about these candles is they give you a heads up when the squeeze is about to fire. And I'll give you an example right here. So say, let's see, what's in a squeeze right now? I know we could actually just pull up anything and give an example here. Okay, I want to move on back. We'll use this as an example here. So you see how Tesla was in a squeeze right here for a long time, and you start to get these dots. The dots basically indicate that the squeeze is getting ready to fire, and then ultimately, look, it did fire. And then you can see that on any of the tickers that you may have interest in playing. So it gives you a heads up when and how things are going to fire. And then over here to the right, if you need to add another chart, you can click this little tab right here and you can add another chart to the side. And I'll show you how to do that on the blank chart. So here, oh, actually it already has it. But if I go to one chart and you need to get two charts, just click here, click two charts, then bam, it will bring it up right here. And that's how you get it. Your second chart over here. And then you just go through the same thing of putting it all together like I just showed you. So for those of you that are here with me, are there any questions over everything I have covered? How do you swap the charts? Swap the charts later if you wanted to. What do you mean by swap them, Mike? Can you explain that a little bit more? Like you wanted to change sides or oh, place the second one first. Okay, so up here you can hit. There's two ways to do it. You hit this, and then you can go to it's the second sandwich one. You hit maximize, and then if you want to go back and forth, you see these arrows. You see how this red box bounces back and forth. That's how you can cycle through charts. And then if you wanted to go back to normal, this little arrow right here, you click it, and it brings them back to 2. Is that what you're referring to there, Mike? All right, but okay, but how do you permanently change the position? You would like as far as okay, in terms of position, if we're going to use this as an example, so we'll say this is the weekly chart and this is the daily chart. Do you mean like by putting the daily right here and put the weekly right here, that type of thing? How do you do that? You simply click it. So if this one right here, you want the weekly right here, all you have to do is click your day, your time frame, and then hit weekly, and then boom, now your weekly charts right here. And then if you wanted this one daily, you just go here, boom, week daily. All you got to do is hit your time frame selection right here. Yeah, and the studies move with it. Yes, the studies, the the indicators and studies are to the time frame selected. So they all correlate. So now this is the weekly information for Tesla. So if you look at the sectors now from a weekly perspective, everything is still looking bullish, right? But if we go to a because that's bigger picture, but if we go to the day, the daily time frame, then everything is obviously looking a little bit more bearish. So yes, you just change the time from there. And writing, all right, explain the function of the red, black, yellow, green dots on the Squeeze Pro study. Sure. So it just reads it's the measurement of squeeze. So first off, let's talk about how do we know we're in a squeeze? Let me think of a squeeze that's I'm in right now. So Walmart is currently a squeeze I'm short. Okay. So in terms of the squeeze, if it goes black, if it has black dots, red dots, and sometimes an orange dot, it means it's in a squeeze. So what is a squeeze? It's when price, and we'll call it when price and volatility compresses so tight, it's going to have to expand anyways. So, or not anyways, but that means price is going to expand. So in this case for Walmart, I'm actually short Walmart And the reason is because, okay, so we have a squeeze, and then the red histogram is going lower, and we got in at the moving average here, and we're gonna look for the squeeze to go down to ATR. So you're just looking for it to go, oh, there, actually, an orange one right there. So it wasn't a high compression squeeze too. So when it goes black, orange, or red and orange, it just means it's in a squeeze, and you're just looking for it to play out. And once it goes green, that means the squeeze is quote unquote firing, and that is how you know which side of the direction that you're looking for the squeeze to go. Basically, if it is red, you're looking for the squeeze to fire low or lower. If it is light blue, you're looking for the squeeze to fire higher, like I did right here. Does that help at all? If in terms of how that works, trying to think, what was the squeeze that was playing out recently? But that's what the squeeze is. So when is the purchase of the stock activated? That's on the setup versus if you're going to trade the squeeze. So let's see here. A squeeze, like a textbook squeeze, is basically like here. Like I have a whole checklist for this in that small account class. But you want to enter near the 21 EMA when there's a bullish squeeze, and the bullish squeeze means there's a probability of a 2 ATR move. That's the 2 ATR move, and then you can get out. So you go from here to there, and you're out. And then you can see how it went negative right here. Could have got it short, and then boom, goes down, fires a little bit, 2 ATR move to the downside. All right, cool, close. So it just helps you know when to pinpoint these little wiggles in the stock. Does that help at all? You're welcome. How do I know it's a 2 ATR? Because that's what this blue line, or sorry, yellow line is. 1 ATR, 2 ATR. That's all I know because I have it plotting the second ATR for me on the chart. But that is how I know. That's what those Kellner channels are, which I covered in the beginning of the session. That's how you know. Those are those Kellner channels that we threw up there. Anything else? All right. Well, everyone, I hope you found that helpful. But that is what's on my charts right now. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me at cody.ashmore@simplertrading.com. Hope everyone has a wonderful rest of your day. And I'll catch you all next time. Take care, everybody.
Without simpler trading, I could not have financial independence.
This is one of the best investments I ever made in my life.
It's helping me find consistency.
It's one of the things that won me over.